Are you still sick? Did you get a virus and kind of recovered, but you've never been so tired before? Like what you normally could do, whether it was working in the backyard or going to work or just going to like a gentle exercise class, and you are just exhausted at the end of it. Do you feel like you've had more fatigue or being tired than you've ever had before? So today I want to talk about long haul COVID and other viruses that can cause this type of fatigue that it's just not normal. So we know everything changed after COVID, right? We came in contact with this coronavirus, which by the way, coronaviruses have been around a long time. It was just that the protein in the COVID virus is something that the human body had never experienced before. And so now our immune systems are going crazy, right? And it's not just, there is a difference between long haul COVID and post vaccine syndrome. I'm specifically going to talk about long haul COVID here and other viruses that can give you this kind of fatigue. So what are the symptoms of long haul COVID? Well, let's get into that now. By the way, I'm Dr. Andrea O'Connor. Welcome to Vitalize Health Partners, where health coach Erin and I are just trying to educate you on really the latest in medicine and how to improve your life when you're armed with information. So anything I talk about here, please go over it with your doctor. See if some of these things are right for you, because even though I'm a doctor, I'm not your doctor. Okay, we cleared that up, right? Well, let's go over the symptoms of long haul COVID. I know the other day, because I'm recovering from a virus, the other day I was sitting in the gym. I wanted to play pickleball, and I was sitting there talking to someone, and all of a sudden a wave of dizziness came over me. I thought I was going to fall on the floor, but I kept it in. I didn't want to scare the person next to me, and I just sat straight and I waited till it passed, and it finally passed. I've also been getting these weird shocking pain symptoms in the dorsal or the top of my foot, at the end of my fingers, almost like a Raynaud's syndrome, which is where the ends of your fingers, they can get cold and very painful. I've had that as well. And this unremarkable fatigue where I go and do something and then I've got to go lay down to recover. Okay, so I'm having post-exertional malaise, we call that, which symptoms get worse after exercise, because a lot of times we're like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get back to my normal. I want to be healthy again. And that actually can make you a lot worse. So frequent rest is important. It's your body's way of saying, I'm really tired. And to explain it simply, the virus is in the cell and it's like hijacking the mitochondria and it's using all the energy. And so your body's not getting the energy. That's one simple way of explaining what's going on there. But there's also like an inflammatory situation going in the body when you're recovering after a virus like COVID. So what do we get? Extreme tiredness that interferes with daily life, headaches, brain fog, sleep problems, insomnia, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, a persistent dry cough that just won't go away, chest pain or tightness that comes and goes, heart palpitations where you feel like all of a sudden your heart is beating really fast, like what happens after you drink a cup of coffee, something like that. Dizziness, lightheadedness, especially when you stand up. And that leads us to POTS. I'll get into POTS in a little bit. Loss and a change of smell or taste. And even though I haven't lost my sense of smell or taste, I noticed when I normally enjoy my morning coffee, because I'll brew up a really good espresso coffee bean with some half and half, it just has been tasting awful lately. And I'm like, oh, my taste has changed. Okay. Joint or muscle pain. Well, those of us that deal with joint or muscle pain, it just gets a little worse. That's the difference. You may have fever or chills, but you also may have unusual sweating or perspiration. And I say it's usually night sweats. So if all of a sudden you're waking up, you're throwing the covers off, and it's not due to perimenopause or menopause. So I'm not talking about like when you lose progesterone, you break out night sweats. This is different. This is when you already have these symptoms and you're getting the night sweats at night. Okay. They could also happen in the very early morning hours as well. Pins and needle sensation, so you're getting a little bit of neuropathy. You might break out in skin rashes and reduced appetite, okay, which could lead to unintended. So you don't have to have all these symptoms, but you can have some. So I don't have all of those, but I've got enough to say, okay, I've got some long haul COVID or post viral situation. Now, I didn't test myself, but based on the symptoms, I think I caught a mild case of COVID. So, and I still have a little hoarse voice over it. And okay, so that's important. Now, there's other viruses that can also cause these long haul symptom pictures. Well, let's get into that now because you may not have had COVID, but you're having this unending fatigue. But I believe that even though, and I'll get into that in a second, but I believe that ever since COVID hit the human population on Earth, nothing's been the same since. It's re-triggered viruses, latent bacteria that's been like Lyme disease, that's just been creeping and hiding out, and the immune system is trying to keep it at bay. But now with COVID, all bets are off. Everything is just kicking off at once. Okay, so the other viruses that can kind of be triggered, Epstein-Barr virus. So remember, that's the virus that causes mono or mononucleosis. Remember, when we were younger, we called it the kissing disease, right? Because with Epstein-Barr virus, after mono, you can get prolonged fatigue. I remember in college, a lot of my I remember one friend in particular had to drop out of college because the Epstein-Barr virus was so bad. They just could not get back to normal. Luckily, they're back to normal now, but it disrupted college there for a while. So with Epstein-Barr virus, you can also have brain fog, the fatigue definitely lasting more than 10 days, and for sometimes some people, more than 18 months. And this is linked to what, if you've ever heard of chronic fatigue syndrome or myalgic encephalomyelitis. Yeah, so that is connected to the post-Epstein-Barr virus syndrome, or I'm going to say like long haul EBV. So even the flu can give you what's called long haul flu. And those symptoms, again, would be persistent fatigue, this dry little cough that won't go away, and sometimes fever. So really similar to long haul COVID. RSV or respiratory syncytial virus can also give you a long-term issue. It's more with like wheezing, fatigue, respiratory problems, especially in children. RSV hits children much more seriously. In fact, they can end up in the ER, usually babies. They'll put them in the oxygen tent. They'll put them on steroids and breathing treatments. Usually with adults, we do fine with RSV, but if you're elderly, RSV can come back and hit you hard as well. So other rhinoviruses, which cause the cold, can sometimes last for quite a while. Adenovirus, which usually causes like those stomach bugs, they can last for a while. Noroviruses, those are common. You get them on a vacation, like going on a cruise. If you've ever heard of norovirus, yes. People can come home from vacation with nausea, diarrhea, and persistent digestive system issues that go on for a while. And then we have the herpes virus, like cytomegalovirus, that can really cause ongoing neurological effects like fatigue and immune-related symptoms. West Nile virus, which here, I'm in the West, I'm in Arizona, we see cases of West Nile virus here now too, which can cause brain fog, migraines, long-term muscle weakness, neurologic issues, and that can go on for months and months and months. And then now we worry about dengue virus coming up from South America because our climate is getting a little bit more wet, rainy, and damp here in Arizona or the Southwest, and those mosquitoes come with it. So not just West Nile. Now we worry about dengue coming our way. And then the other coronaviruses like the non-SARS-CoV-2, even MERS, and all that can cause long-haul symptoms. And so that's really a definition of what long-haul COVID is. Now, on the next part, which is series 2 in this long-haul COVID, I'm going to go over what doctors do to treat this. Okay, so I'll see you on the next episode.